Hello and welcome to fresponse.com. Today we're going to talk about fresponse tactical. Specifically, we're going to start by looking at connecting two physical machines together. So we're going to have a subject machine and an examiner machine. We're going to connect them over the network, and we're going to connect to a single physical device. Then we're going to take a look at the cloud features available in fresponse tactical. Now, a little bit about the backdrop. I've set up today a subject machine, which is Windows 8.1, and I have a Windows 10 examiner machine, which I'm going to move to in just a second. fresponse tactical is delivered as a dual dongle solution. So we have two license and software dongles. I've got the subject dongle connected to my machine here. I'm going to go ahead and execute the Windows version. We have a 64-bit machine we're using for demonstration, and so we have also a 32-bit executable, OS X, and Linux, etc. So we're going to go ahead and double-click on the Windows executable for tactical. And you'll see it opens up, gives us the host name, the port that we're going to bind to, the version that we're running right now, and then whether we're online or offline. So we're going to go ahead and press start. This is going to go through the process of finding the disks and starting up the software and making sure it's operational. Once it's listed as online, we know that we're listening on this host name for this port. We're also beaconing. The tactical sends out a encrypted beacon, if you will, an encrypted packet onto the network through a broadcast mechanism so that the examiner can access and find that beacon and then connect to the tactical. So what we'll do now is we'll go over to our examiner machine and we'll take a look at this subject. Here we are on our examiner machine. Again, like I said, we're talking about a dual dongle solution. So here we have an fresponse tactical examiner stick, and we have both of our 32 and 64-bit consoles. Something to keep in mind is that unlike prior versions of fresponse tactical, starting with version 7, you do need to have the full tactical installation on your examiner machine. This is necessary to wire in all the different pieces of fresponse and have them all functional in one location. So you'll see that the tactical examiner contains less software because everything is installed on your examiner machine. We've gone ahead and opened up our 64-bit fresponse tactical examiner, and we started out, we're going to just look at the physical subjects on the remote machine. We're going to ignore any imaging options for today. You're welcome to look at the manuals and the details on how to use the fresponse imager. We're going to skip over that today for the purposes of our demonstration. Since we want to look at a remote subject, we're going to come here to subjects. We have two ways to do that. We can manually add a tactical subject where we're effectively putting in the URI or the host name or IP address port so that we can connect to the machine, or we can use the auto connect, which locates that beacon like we talked about. So let's go ahead and do the auto connect option now. And you'll see that it's listening for a subject. It found the subject, and there we can see it there. When I select the subject, we see our list of targets. Disk 0, Disk 1, physical memory, volume C, etc. So let's just go ahead and double-click on Disk 1 and attach it to our machine. Once the physical device is attached, you'll see we have a local device number, physical drive 3, and we have additional information on it. We can right-click and select that drive, create an image, open it in Explorer, etc., provided it has a file system we can look at. Now, this gives you a little bit of background as to what you can do. You could always go in and go through the imaging process. You could open this up in your own forensic software or forensic tools or do your own imaging, etc. Well, essentially what you've done is you've connected disk 1 from this remote machine to your machine as physical drive 3, completely write protected. Alright, so let's also take a moment to talk a little bit about accessing cloud storage providers. Since we don't have the provider pane visible here, let's go ahead and do that now by going to View Providers. You'll see the provider pane shows us the limited set of cloud providers supported by fresponse tactical. And we can add in provider credentials through the Provider Credentials menu for things like Amazon and Dropbox and Google Drive, etc. Now, what we're not going to do is we're not going to go into any details on how to add those credentials in or how that all works. We have a number of mission guides and additional documentation on our website to cover that. We will, however, take a quick look at an Amazon account that we've got set up. So we'll go ahead and select this Amazon account. We've got a list of different buckets there. So we'll go ahead and double-click on an individual bucket and map it into our machine. In this case, we map it in as the E drive, and here we have our locally defined E drive letter that we can access. And this gives us a great way to look at the data on the remote machine and then acquire it using other methods. We could always image it ourselves. We could open it in Windows Explorer, etc. So this gives you a great overview of how fresponse tactical works. You can see how to run the tactical software on a remote Windows machine. You can also see how to use the examiner software and tactical to connect to that device, but also look at individual providers and their data. Alright, so hopefully that gives you a good overview. You're welcome to contact us on the web. We're available at www.f-response.com. Thanks, and we hope you had a great day.